All right, we might as well start in the respect for you all who got up early Monday morning and you are here. Appreciate that. Let's just take a tally here. How many are lead facilitators that are here this morning? All right, and how many are peer facilitators? All right, peer facilitators, do you know who your lead facilitators are? All right, good progress then. Have you been contacted? All right, great. All right, what we want to accomplish this morning, good morning, is to give you some updates on where we are with CNS 101. As you well know, for the lead facilitators, the peer facilitators, this may be a shock to you, this thing is changing. We are doing it as we go along. Ultimately, it's going to be a really great experience for you, for the lead facilitators, and for the students, but there's going to be some changes, so you're going to have to be patient with us. We welcome questions as we go through this morning. Becky also gave you a white card so that you can jot down a question. I know when I'm in a situation like this, I have a question and I'm going to ask it at the end and then I forget. Well, you're young, maybe you don't do that, right? Okay. All right, so I want to go over some talking points, a few things that you need to know as lead facilitators and peer facilitators. You received an email for the leads last Friday that indicated that spring is going to be a very different format than we have in the fall. So stay tuned. We're not sure exactly what that's going to look like, but you're not going to have a scheduled CNS 101 every single week, unless that's something that your group wants to do. So there's going to be a lot of leeway in the spring, all right? David Vandenbout, who is now the Associate Dean for Undergraduate Education in the College of Natural Sciences, replaced Dean Kopp, and he's very enthused and supportive of this effort. He is at a research conference and will be back, I think, this week sometime. So you will be seeing him up here a lot. All right. There are going to be some course funds. You're going to get correction. You're not going to get $250 in dine-in dollars. You're going to get $150 in dine-in dollars. Becky had me proof the message, and I wanted it to be $550, but no. So it's $150 dine-in dollars, and let me be clear, that's for the lead facilitators to accompany their groups, their flock to lunch, all right? And Julie and Dee Dee will be manning that part of UGS. Julie, do you want to, does everybody know Julie? Julie Bowers? Okay. We'll be manning that whole effort. They will be putting out an instruction sheet on exactly what we need to do. There will also be some, we call it fun money, but I'm calling it connection funds, for you to take your group bowling, TIFS treats, those kinds of things. If you have had a FIG in the past, there may be some changes. So look at this instruction sheet that Dee Dee and Julie are putting together. With 100 sections, there's going to be probably some more stipulations on what we can and can't do with those monies, all right? If in fact you have questions, shoot them to Dee Dee or to Julie and they'll be happy to answer those. You will get $12.50 per student for the fall. Okay, questions on that?
So the 150 is for, you said, is that for some specific event or for lunch? And then there's an additional 1250 per student?
Yes.
Okay.
You will get, yeah, the question is the 150 for like lunch, that's really for the lead facilitator. And then there's $12.50 per student who is enrolled in your class on the 12th class day. You'll be allocated that money to, they can go bowling, Tiff's treats, pizza, those kinds of things. Okay? So there's feed your tummy and then there's feed their tummies. Okay? We are going to try to work with Julie and Dee Dee to make this as uncomplicated as possible. It's going to be a huge complication even without that. So, okay? And when will that sheet be out?
Later this week.
Later this week. Okay. Okay, just to clarify, I know that if you've had a FIG in the past, and we found out from the FIG office that there's really two areas that the FIG office requires, and that's one is that your students meet with a professor, and then the other is time management. Is that correct? And other than that, if you had a FIG in the past, it was pretty much up to you what you covered. Is that, am I hearing what they said right? All right. For CNS 101, I want to be very clear. We have some topics that we want everybody in the College of Natural Sciences to cover. As the lead facilitator, as the peer facilitator, it's up to you to work as a team and figure out how are you going to cover these topics and when are you going to cover these topics. Well, we have a prescription out there of week 1 is mindset, week 2 is something, week 3 is something else, time management, so on and so forth. You don't have to cover them in that order, but you do have to cover them during the term. You don't have to do the prescribed activities. That guideline that Jane and Becky have really put together, and that is out on Canvas, right, is our guidelines. They are not absolute prescriptions. You don't have to do that. If you have your favorite activity, then go for it and let us know about it, because that might be a really cool thing to do. Okay. As we go along, we will continue to build a resource for all instructors or facilitators. Okay, questions?
Those have already been sent out?
Pardon me?
Those have already been sent out, like a final list of topics?
The list of, tell me about this.
I'm passing them out right now.
Okay. The whole guide isn't there. The whole guide is like 67 pages, something like that. And there's 3 sections to each. Say week 1, there's kind of a very detailed description, and then there's some added on resources or added on activities. So when you get access to this in Canvas, which you will do today, well, or you'll find out how to do that today, then just search through, and you'll have to meet together with your facilitation team to decide what you want to do. It seems so quiet. That must mean I'm being really, really clear, huh? One thing that I failed to do before I started into this is to thank Jane and Becky and Sean and Heather. I guarantee you these 4 people have toted and lifted the heavy weight of this CNS 101. Without all of the coordination and effort, we wouldn't be doing any of this. So, you know, my thanks to all 4 of them. All right, the facilitation team, I really want to emphasize to the lead facilitators and the peer facilitators, we want you working as a team. We know that you as peers are our greatest asset when it comes to working with our freshmen. So we're going to encourage you all to be active participants in this rather than just doing paperwork or something like that. Again, you have some strengths, your lead facilitator has some strengths, and to blend those two. Okay. Gone to Texas. We're going to ask that the lead facilitators encourage their students to go to Gone to Texas, and suggest also that perhaps you go to Gone to Texas and ask your group to meet someplace. All right, we're going to call it Gone to College of Natural Sciences. Lots of free pizza. I know most of the advisors are already there, right? Is that, yeah? So you will know who your students are and just invite them. You can meet someplace, and while it's not easy to find people there, you'll have to
Meet somewhere.
Yeah, meet someplace. Meet by Turtle Pond. No, you can't. That's liberal arts. Can't meet by Turtle Pond. Okay. So we originally had planned to have a big rah-rah the night before classes, the night classes started, and have decided not to do that. Dean Vandenbout will be talking about CNS 101 at Gone to Texas. So this is where a lot of the students will just hear. So when we talk CNS 101, it's going to be really hard because when your students look at their schedules, they're not really going to see CNS 101. They know they're in WINS, they know they're in TIP, they know they're in a FIG. They're going to have all that terminology. So it's kind of going to be up to us to keep infusing that term. Everything that we do as far as orienting the students is CNS 101. So it's not a FIG anymore, it's kind of a CNS 101/FIG. It's CNS 101 experience/TIP, CNS 101/WINS. While it still has that personality of its former program, the CNS 101 is really the experience that they're dealing with all of this curriculum. Kind of a nebulous concept that I'm still trying to put my arms around. Okay? Where are we? Oh, I'm over. Anything else that we needed to? Sean? Anything? You okay? Becky? Got it? Jane? Oh, we did need to mention the survey. Your students will be getting an email from Qualtrics from Jane on a pre-course survey. We don't know exactly how that's going to happen.
Yeah, well, so you guys don't have to worry about sending out a link or an invite or something like that. We'll just deal with them directly. We are trying to get them to take, the survey is going to go live on Thursday. The idea is to get their responses before they actually start CNS 101. So we're asking them to actually complete it before the 25th so that they're just kind of going at the survey totally cold. So you really shouldn't have to do anything, but if students are confused or ask you what's the survey, that's what it is. It's something to just get a sense of where their mindsets are at right now before they go through this experience, and then we'll survey them again at the end of the semester.
And this is just evaluating the program, right? Seeing what change takes place in the students, not anything about your activities or anything like that. Is that right?
Yeah, it's asking.
For the purpose of the video, would you summarize what Jane said? You're the only one with.
Oh. I feel powerful.
Yes, you
Okay, Jane said that as instructors or as facilitators, you don't have to do anything other than to encourage your students to complete the survey, that we want the students to take this survey before they start the actual course. So if you meet them and gone to Texas, perhaps encourage them to complete that survey. Do we use the CNS 101 term in there?
We are working on figuring out how to make it make sense for students who are, say, in TIP,
Okay,
and
so-
WINS, and so forth. So there'll probably be slightly different versions of the invitation and of the survey itself, so that the students sort of know who they are. And at the end of the semester, they kind of know to whom to attribute any changes or benefits or whatnot.
Okay, so what Jane mentioned to my question was that they're going to try to work on the language in the survey so that students aren't totally confused because they don't have a connection to CNS 101, but they do have a connection to WINS or BSP or something like that. Okay. Yes?
For the students, the mentors who are hired through the FIG office, they still have to go to FIG trainings and still have to do whatever FIG wants them to do, correct?
Yes, the question is for the FIG mentors who are hired through the FIG office. Yes, they still have to do what the FIG office requires. And so this training will count, we're starting to call this training, we don't want to call it a training, is calling a course check-in, okay? And this will count towards some of that, okay? All right, now I'm going to turn it over to Heather and see if I can get this thing off without ripping my skirt off.
Please don't.
Please, yeah, I know. Do you want me to put it on?
No, I think I'm going to put it in my pocket and see how that goes. All right. Do I have pockets? I do. Okay. Thanks, Sue. Oh, no. All right, so the remainder of our time, hang on, technology, just a minute. Yes! Okay, the remainder of our time we're going to be talking about Canvas, what's available to you in Canvas right now, how Canvas works, and what you can do with it to email your students, to present files, resources to them. In fact, I shouldn't have gotten dressed because Noah here, say hi, Noah. Noah is going to start by giving you an overview of what Canvas is like and sort of some notification settings that you should probably set and how navigation works and all that. So he gets to start. Do you want me to dress you?
I think I can do it.
Good job.
I've done this before.
Oh, you're so lucky. Previous experience.
Okay, how many of you have used Canvas before? Okay, oh great, a lot of you. Have you used it as a student? How many of you used it as a student? And then how many of you have used it as an instructor? Has anybody? Okay, a few people, kind of. Okay. All right, so some of you, many of you are already going to be familiar with the first topic here. We're going to talk about the basic layout of Canvas. And I'll start off here. I just clicked on the UTexas logo in the upper left, and that's always going to take you back to the landing page for Canvas.
How do they get to Canvas?
So how do you get to Canvas? That's a great question. You get to Canvas by going to canvas.utexas.edu. And that will take you to the login page for Canvas. And that login page is going to look like this. Okay, great. So there's a slideshow, which is interesting. It's going to have links to different aspects, different parts of Canvas, different training opportunities, things like that. If you need access to any training materials, this login page is fantastic because we've got, first off, CTL and ITS have teamed up to do Canvas trainings. I'm one of those trainers. We have a list of our, okay. This apparently is playing tricks on me. We've got, okay, you get the idea. It doesn't want to. We've got office hours. We have different workshops that we host throughout the semester. If you ever want to catch any of those trainings, you can do that. If you want to just come into office hours, we're in FAC 227. We usually hold office hours twice a week. You can come in and ask us any question about Canvas or any technology used on campus, okay? And then under support, just to bring that to your attention too, there are a number of links that will take you to training materials for instructors, and we also have training materials for students, okay? All right, so that's how you get to Canvas, canvas.utexas.edu. You can also go to the UTexas homepage. Under Learn here, you'll see Blackboard and Canvas, and that will take you to this page, this login page. Okay. So back on the landing page, we've logged into Canvas, okay? Pretend here, we've logged into Canvas, we're all set to go. So basically with the login page or the landing page for Canvas, you're gonna have recent activity. This login page is going to pull in information and aggregate information from all of your courses, okay? Same too at the top, the navigation at the top, courses, assignments, grades, calendar, that's going to take you to information about all of your courses, regardless of whether you're a student or an instructor. It'll include both, okay? In the upper right-hand corner, you'll notice that you'll see your name when you log in. For those of you who are logged in, you'll see your name in the upper right. If you click on your name, that's going to bring up a profile page, which you can edit the information on. So for Heather's login page, we see she's clicked on what used to be a blank avatar and added a picture of herself. Your students are going to find this very, very helpful if you upload a profile picture. During our pilot of Canvas last year, we found that in our student feedback that students found that very, very, very helpful. So it will help identify you to your students. That profile photo is going to appear next to all of your communications with students in Canvas, whether it's a discussion board or an email, or you're giving them comments regarding an assignment. I'm not sure if you guys are going to be assigning or dealing with assignments, but if you do, you'll need, this will kind of help humanize the experience, okay? Okay, so that's the profile page. And by the way, you're editing, regardless of where you are in Canvas, if you go to the right-hand side, you'll almost always find your editing buttons there, your editing features, okay? And then usually on the left-hand side, you'll find some sort of navigation. So remember that, navigation on the left, editing on the right. If I click here on the inbox in the upper right-hand corner, the inbox is where you will communicate with your students, okay? For those of you who are used to Blackboard, you used to be able to do that inside of the course. In Canvas, it's centralized in one place, and that's in your inbox. So you go to your inbox, and that's where you'll be able to contact the students who are in your cohort, your class. Are they calling cohorts or classes? Courses? Cohorts? Neither? Cohorts? Cohorts, isn't it? Okay. Okay, so you'll be able to contact the people, the students in your cohort, or the students in your cohort. We'll go with that through the inbox. Okay. Settings. I'll cover that very quickly. The settings will enable you to add email addresses. And this is your personal settings, by the way, not to be confused with your course settings, which you'll see a little bit later. So you've got a primary email account by default, and by default, you will receive any email sent to you from Canvas will automatically get copied to your primary email account, okay? The one exception is if you initiate the email. So if you initiate an email in Canvas, you're not going to get copied in Canvas and you're not going to get copied in your primary email account. And that kind of sucks, and I acknowledge that. I didn't have anything to do with it. We're trying to get that changed, but for the meantime, that's what's happening in Canvas. Now, what you can do if you go into your inbox, and I'll show you this right now, is that you do have a sent box, okay? So that sent box will track everything that you send out of Canvas. Just FYI, BTW, okay? I know I'm going really fast, you guys. If you have any really pressing questions, please stop me. So back in settings here, you've also got an other contacts panel over here on the right. You can add a Twitter account, Facebook. You can add your cell phone if you want to. This will not be made public. But if you would like to receive notifications from Canvas, you can set up these alternate communication channels and receive notifications from Canvas that way, okay? So that's what this other contacts is about. Now, over on the left, if I click on notifications, I'll just show you what that looks like really quick. The notifications preferences inside of Canvas are set up to notify you regarding different course activities, okay? Canvas is really chatty. It's going to get really chatty with you. It's going to be very communicative, and it may be a little bit too much. So you can go into your default settings. They'll be set up for you, and you can dial them down if you want to. By just hovering over, you'll notice you can dial it down from ASAP to daily to weekly to not at all, okay? Now, the one notifications that you should never ever turn off are under conversations. Conversations, you want those set to ASAP and at least one communication channel, because like I said, if a student emails you in Canvas, you'll get a copy of that email in your primary email account. And by the way, you don't have to log into Canvas to respond to that email. You can just hit the reply button and reply to that student's email as you would any other email in your primary account without having to log back into Canvas. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay. Any questions about this? Any questions about what I've covered so far? Okay, so let's see here. All right, last thing I want to talk about is help. If you get jammed, if there's something that I talked about or Heather talked about, you've forgotten it, maybe we never talked about it, you want to figure out how to do it, there's a help link in the upper right-hand corner that will give you access to 24/7, 365 support, okay? So if on Christmas morning you just have to know something, it's just not, the Christmas is going to be ruined if you don't know, you can call these people, you can chat with them, and they're going to be there. And so this help panel will give you access to that chat. Chat is great because you can receive an emailed you can have the digest, the whole interaction emailed to you afterward for later reference. So I like the chat myself, but there's also phone support. If you need to talk to somebody, need to hear their voice, you can call them. This is your first line of defense against any problem that you're having in Canvas. These people are going to be there immediately for you, and they're always there. They're also available to students. They're available to any user at UT in Canvas, okay? So definitely go to this. It even has a link that goes to our Canvas Training Center that we've created as a Canvas course to house all of the tutorials that you might need as instructors at UT in Canvas, okay? All right, so let's see. I think it's you, Heather. I think it's you.
Okay.
Yeah, importing content. Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah,
I have multiple courses that I'm leading.
okay.
They all say either natural science seminar or they'll have two figs, right? Is there a way for us to rename them so we know, like it's our Monday fig or our Tuesday fig or something along those lines?
Yes. So, okay, so the question is, how can I rename my course? And I'm not sure if that, do we have that?
It's very last item, but if you'd like to talk about it now, that would be awesome.
Okay. So I'm going to go into, let's see, which course? That one? Great. Okay, so once you're in your course, once you're in your course, as we are here, you're going to go to your course settings, not to be confused with your personal settings. The last link in your course navigation on the left-hand side will be settings. You're going to click on settings. And then what you're going to do is you're going to scroll down and click Edit Course Details. There's an Edit Course Details button. You'll notice that now you can go in and change the name. Okay? And then, yeah, you're welcome. So, and you can change the name. You need to make sure that you hit the blue Update Course Details button. Okay? After you're done, otherwise your changes won't be saved. You've also, just to point out a couple things on the settings page also that will really come in handy, you have a student view button that will allow you to view your course as a student, and you can actually upload assignments, go through discussion boards, anything, and view the entire course as a student. Then you'll have a blue button in the lower right corner that says Leave Student View. That's the only way to get out of the student view is to click that blue button, okay? All right, so yeah, I'm going to check that one off. All right, so I'm going to turn this over to Heather, and she's going to talk about course stuff.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Have you all found your Canvas course? Are you on Canvas? Because we did ask you to bring your computers. But understand, Monday morning, 9 a.m. Are you there? Did you find it? Okay, so do you see the CNS 101 course in your student view? Yeah? Awesome. Okay, and no, crap. Okay, we'll get to that in a minute.
Well, I don't even see a CNS 101 course for me.
Okay, but here, do you see this? Who changed the name of the course? Oh. It's okay. All right. That's all right. Do you see this one, the CNS 101, what might be leadership and development?
Nope.
Okay, we'll get to that in a minute then. All right, so for all of you that do, let's talk about what we've got organized here. So the top part is getting started. And in fact, let's use the student view here because that's what you'll all see. Oops, back, sorry. Okay, yes.
Just as only the lead facilitators have access to their CNS 101 courses, so
Okay.
we just haven't had a chance to add the peer facilitators as TAs yet.
Okay,
Just as
so,
we're going through.
right. So Becky has said that the peer facilitators, you would not yet have access to your CNS 101 course. So if you don't, that's great. Because everything is working as it should. So let's start with an explanation of what we've got here. At the top, you have this Getting Started module, and the contents of that are pretty exciting. The very first thing is a file that describes and encapsulates all of the material here in this CNS 101 course. So let's do something. Are you ready? Click on the file and download it. And what we're going to do, for those of you that have access to your CNS 101 courses already, we're going to upload this file so that you have all of the material there and ready for you to use. Are you ready to do something? You don't look excited. I want you to be excited about this. What? Noah, should I be panicking?
No.
Okay. All right. Now, I've downloaded a file, right? Here's what we're going to do next. We're going to put this file in your real CNS 101 course. Let's put mine here. Okay, so go to your real CNS 101 course. For those of you that have one, you have one, right? Oh man, I'm a little bit nervous. I'm not seeing a lot of, yeah, I have a course. So in settings, here in the course details, whoa. See this button, import course content. Click on it. Yes, there's a question.
I can't open the file.
No way. Can you save it?
I downloaded it, but I can't.
Yeah,
But it did save, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah, it's a file that you'll want to save it. You won't want to open it because it's a package that the Canvas needs to upload.
So the concern is that Safari wasn't able to open the file that she downloaded. That's okay. We don't need to open it. We just need to save it. Okay, so now, import content. We're going to import a Canvas course package. I'm going to browse for it. This is it, top of my downloads. All the content. You don't need to adjust the events and due dates right now, but then you can click the blue import button. I don't want to do it in this one. Did you do it? Did magic happen? Did anybody try? Oh, rough crowd this morning.
Is this for the peer or the lead facilitators trying to do
The lead facilitator that has access to the course right now. Sue, how are you?
trying to find a course.
Okay. All right, let's assume for a minute that that happened as it should. Whew. Here's the next thing you need to do. The next thing you need to do is publish your course. So what does publishing do? Publishing means that your students will now have access to everything in your course. So if you don't publish your course and you say to your students, hey, on Canvas, there's this file there for you, they're like, I don't know what you're talking about, because they don't have one. They don't have anything there. So to publish your course, I'm having a blank. Noah, how do I publish my course?
Oh, so scroll over to the right for a second. Let's just, of course, yeah, you've already published it.
Oh, yes, this course is published.
But there should be like a, oh wow, what's your unpublished?
No, because I have graded things.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh, that's right.
Next item you need to do. So I think at this point what we can say is that,
So you know what you should say is that the published and unpublished file will be on your homepage. And it'll
this
be
one?
Yeah, on your homepage, on the upper right-hand corner. There
So
will
it should be here.
It'll be above the choose homepage.
So Noah claims that, so here's what I've already done. I've already published this course so that you can see everything. But when you publish your course, what will happen is that your published course will be, button will be right here in the, above the choose homepage button. Does anybody see one of those?
It's actually just on the home page. There's a gray box that says the course is unpublished.
Oh, and then you get to click it to publish? Oh, fantastic. Oh, good.
Oh, I see.
Okay. Next, let's add your TA. So lead facilitator, are you ready? Let's add your peers, which in this case will be, okay, so in the left menu right here, you have a people tab. Click on that. And right here, there's a big add people button. Click on that. Now, you need to add your TA's EID. Do you know it? Man, I thought that would be a problem. Farley, what's your EID?
F1173.
We'll add Farley as a TA. Whoa. Okay, next. And it's going to say, all right, I'm ready. Add. Done. Okay. Do you all think that you can add your TAs to your course? Yes? I'm going to look over here. There's a lot of nodding over here. That makes me feel comfortable. Yes?
I'm in the WINS branch of it, and I don't have access at all. I haven't got any
Interesting.
course, but I don't know, is it a different structure? Will I be getting access to it?
You should be getting access. So what she said is that she's in the WINS branch of CNS 101, and she doesn't have a course here on Canvas. Do you see this CNS 101 organization? Okay. Okay, so, oh, great.
So Heather, how do the TAs then respond so it doesn't show pending anymore? What do they have to do to make it?
When they log into Canvas, there will be an invitation box that says you should accept this invitation, and then they click on it and they say, okay. All right. Okay. At this point, you have a couple of options. I'm sure that you might be thinking to yourself, okay, well, a lot's gone wrong. I don't have access to my CNS 101 development course, and I don't have access to my WINS CNS 101 course. It's not really going well. You have two options. Your first option is to use the index card that Becky passed out to you and say, my name is this, my EID is this, my email address is this, and here's my problem. Or you can go to this URL. It says tinyurl.com/CNS101help. Just a minute. Click on it, and you'll be taken to a Google form that says, your name is this, your EID is this, your email address is this, and here's my problem. Those are your two options for help. Are you good? Yes. Uh-huh. Yep. What's your question?
Quick question. So I am folding CNS 101 into an existing course I already do that kind of had a CNS 101 bent to it. Is that maybe why I don't have a CNS 101? It would be with my other course? Or?
Possibly so. So his question is that his CNS 101 is rolled up into another course, and the question is that why he doesn't have a CNS 101 here in Canvas? Is that true? Becky is nodding that that is true.
Yeah, so you should still have access to the 101 that she was showing up there, but yours will be the BSP,
Right.
the UGS 303.
Okay. I still don't see that one though. Do I need that? As long as I have like a list of topics and I'm rolling
You
it
do.
into my course, do I need access to the CNS 101 site?
You do, for a couple of reasons. Okay, does everybody have this URL? So his question is, do I still need access to the CNS 101 development course that we have going here? And the answer to that is yes, because we're going to be using Canvas for a lot of communication, some discussion board topics. Also, while this is not occurring now on my list, we may as well talk about it. For assessment purposes, we want to know, we've all worked hard, and you guys will work even harder than we will now, which is kind of exciting. I didn't mean it like that. But the point is that we want to know if the things that we're doing are good and useful and helpful to our students. So this is why we have a survey that Jane has written, and why we want to know how well our students are coming to class and whether they're finding it useful. So in this package of materials that you're going to download and then upload, we have here we go. Nope, not that week. We have an attendance assignment that we'd like you to take attendance in your section and put it here in Canvas so that we know whether your students are coming or not. And that'll help us with our assessment project over the course of the semester. So it really is important for communication purposes, for access to materials, either the facilitator guide or these attendance assignments, that you do have access to this course. So please, 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 make us do our jobs well. Help us, give us data. And to do that, you have two options, remember, index card or tiny URL, CNS 101 help. Now, if you actually are one of the chosen favored ones and do have access to this CNS 101 development course, this second link right here, CNS 101 help, takes you directly to that Google form. So click on it, tell us your problem, whatever's going on, we're here to help. Becky's laughing. She's like, I don't know.
Sounded pretty open-ended.
Yeah, well, we're here to help, right, Becky? All right. Let's get back on track. Here's my list. You now know how to import a course. You published your course, you added your mentor, and we've talked about emailing. We are rocking and rolling. And, okay, let's talk about attendance. Okay, so attendance is represented here by this assignment. You'll notice that it's worth 1 point. However, we all know that CNS 101 is an ungraded beast, right? It's just 1 point for bookkeeping purposes, and it'll help you understand whether your students have been coming for 60% of the time or 30% of the time. Points are useful. Sometimes they're also motivating. Now, let's look at what this looks like in your grade book. So if you click on the left, in the left menu at grades, holy crap, there are a lot of you in here now. This is what it looks like. You have your student name on the left, their EID, and now you have this week 2 attendance, right? Did your student come or not? You get to put a check mark if they came. And if they didn't come, you can leave it blank, or, whoa, you can put an X. Jane, do you have a preference for X versus nothing? They're the same, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You get to pick X or nothing.
Well, everyone should just do the same thing, so,
It's easier to leave it as nothing.
okay, so nothing. So X if not attend is what you're saying, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Or a check mark. So to take attendance, you go to the grade book and then you just click down the roster. Who's here, who's not here, who's here, who's not here. Click, 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 done. Love it, right?
So can you clarify that again? So
Sure.
you want us to leave it unchecked for non-attendance or an X?
Unchecked. I think that's easiest. Do you want to put an X?
Well, Jane said to put an X, so then you said not to put an X. so
Oh,
just wanted
I
to
thought she
put
said
an
don't
X.
put an X.
You know, the thing is, my time here.
Absolutely.
If you put an X, the students will see that. It might be good to have the X there so that they know, oh, I have an X.
So Noah's saying that if you put the X there, then it's a visual reminder to their student that they got an X. Not there. Okay, let's do X's. Look, we made another decision.
That also helps if we forget to do it sometime.
Ah, yes. So they do, yeah, you've confirmed, not there. So the other nice thing about this is that we are attaching some carrots and sticks to this, right? If they don't attend, then they don't get their pooled courses in the spring or something, right, Sean? Am I?
Yeah, that's the idea, is that they would have I guess the registration preference, or the ability to use a quasi-unique number, for example, to register for their spring courses.
Okay, so Sean said that they, without meeting the attendance guidelines, they wouldn't get this preferred enrollment in these pooled sections that they're currently in. So there are now 2 purposes why you take attendance. 1, so that we know if CNS 101 is successful. 2, so that they have, so that we know whether they still get this preferred enrollment And it's important if we're making decisions like this, if we're making decisions about their enrollment in the fall, that they have access to the data that we're using to make those decisions. So Canvas is an ideal way to do that because they can see in the grade book that they were here or not here. And hopefully, if there's something wrong, they'll tell you before you can forget. Okay, how are we doing? Any questions so far? Yes?
Going with attendance, how many can they miss, I guess, before you're saying, okay, you're not getting the spring classes, just so they ask us, we have an answer.
So the question is, how many CNS 101 student sections can a student miss before they are not given preferred enrollment in the spring? I don't remember. Sean?
Looking at it, I believe it was 3 that I wanted to check.
Yes, 3.
3.
I've got 3 threes. 3. They have to attend every one except, if they miss 3, then they're out.
May not have more than 3 unexcused absences.
Unexcused.
Unexcused. Okay.
But preferred enrollment.
So the question is, what do we mean by preferred enrollment? So, Sean, hang on. You don't get the thing in my pocket. It's a pain. Just talk. Yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
So the idea is that during the fall semester, a cohort might have a chemistry course and a biology course as part of the whole package. So they have a seminar, chemistry 1, biology 1. What we're trying to do is basically give a carrot to the students by allowing them to register for the Chem 302, the Bio 311D, for example. So the Chem 2, Bio 2, for the spring semester, same professors if possible, but at the very least they get to stay with the same cohort of students from the fall to the spring semester. And these are going to be professors that we've set aside specifically for these students. And so it helps them with registration and makes the process a lot easier. Again, they get to remain with their cohort into the spring semester. But if they choose not to attend, they're missing too many classes, that kind of thing, they would have to register for classes on their own and they would lose some of that benefit.
Sean, Hazel's in WINS, right? WINS, so it's going to be, the attendance policy is going to be a little bit more defined by WINS itself than this.
Correct, yes. So WINS and BSP, any program, you're going to have your own types of policies that'll be associated with that. But for the general, I guess, FIG type of course, then it's going to be this three unexcused absence policy.
What if students fall off this then? Like, students re-register and later.
So if students fall off after registration, we've talked about the possibility of unenrolling them. I don't know exactly, we haven't had a kind of follow-up conversation on that, I don't believe, but I know that there have been discussions about how to go about doing that.
Any other questions? Oh, go for it.
Who determines whether something is excused or not? And is there a way to designate an excused absence?
Okay, who designates who deems an absence to be excused or unexcused? And
For example, last year, my FIG overlapped with the office hours for test review for Dr. Lottie's class, so most of them went to that. And that would, I guess, be an excused absence. I don't know. You know, who makes that determination?
the last discussion we had on that, it was at discretion of facilitator. Is that not correct? Yes, that is correct. Okay, so it's going to be at discretion of the facilitator to deem something.
Is there a way to designate that they were absent, but it was excused on the roster?
I don't know.
Extra check.
So the question is there a way? Whoa. Is there a way to determine or designate in Canvas the difference between present, unexcused absence, and excused absence? And I don't know, but I'll get back to you on that. Blank? Ooh, blank. I don't know. That doesn't seem right. I'll get back to you and email the group so that everybody knows. All right. Any other questions before we move on with the rest of my list? Yes.
One last question, I'm sorry, specific to the BSP.
You are totally fine.
The BSP thing, since it is rolled up in my BSP course, does that mean my students will not have a dedicated CNS 101 Canvas site for them? It'll just all be run through the BSP course?
So the question is, because his CNS 101 is rolled up in BSP, does that mean that his CNS 101 students will not have a dedicated CNS 101 site? And the answer to that question is yes, they will not. Not sure what you're going to do about that.
Well, it'd be confusing if they did. And then I'd have
That's
two
true.
different things to try to manage.
Okay, that's
So
true.
I was hoping the answer was what you gave me, so thank you.
Oh, well, good, 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 good.
But I also want to just make sure, like for the UGS 303 for TIP, we still need to ensure that we in some way are covering that,
Mhm.
that material or those topics.
Right.
That everyone's getting.
Yeah, that was my plan, was just to fold it in. I kind of hit a lot of those stuff, a lot of that stuff already in the past, so it's just gonna be tweaking a little bit.
All right. Okay, so the next portion, we're going to talk about how you, so now that you have, hopefully, let's go with hopefully, now that you have hopefully uploaded the Canvas course content to your CNS 101 section, assuming that you have one, assuming that you have access to one, assuming that you have access to this CNS 101 development class, assuming that that all went just as it should. Is anybody still there? Has there been one success? Holy crap! Yes! That is my win for the day. Okay, good. Well, I'll take it. The next question is, let's say you want to change something, right? So there are a couple of things that come to mind when I think about things that you could change. One, you could want to post a new file for your students and say, hey, I found this really cool article, please read it. Let's talk about that. You might want to add items to the calendar. So say to your students, hey, I will be here at Littlefield Patio Cafe for lunch on Tuesdays. Come join me. That's something else you might want to do through Canvas. Another thing that you might want to do, we've already talked about this, change your course title. So let's not talk about that again. And then another thing that you might want to do is have a discussion with your students. Hey, this really interesting thing was in the news. What do you think about it? You could do that through Canvas. So let's start at the top. How do you post a new file for your students? So right now, the way that your CNS 101 course is set up, should you get to the end of that path, is that there are all of these modules, right? So a module is a way that you organize a collection of content. So the first module that I have here for you is the Getting Started module with that course file, the CNS 101 help link. So it's a collection of a couple of different things, right? There are other modules here, like the facilitator guide has your schedule, it has your responsibilities as a facilitation team, and then it also has all of these weeks for what you can do during that week. Notice that week 14 is missing because that's Thanksgiving. Woohoo! No CNS 101 that week. Anyway, but let's say that you want to post a new file for your students. So you find the week that you would like them to do it. For example, let's say that you want to post it in week 6. Advisors, TAs, and networking. Advisors, no, professors, TAs, advisors. And what you want to do is you want to post a new file. So choose File, or look at your other options. You can post a discussion page or content page, external URL. Let's pick a file. Oh, I'm not sure what a good one is. Maybe there's a picture on my desktop. A screenshot? No, I've decided that this might be dangerous. Room numbers? Let's pretend I found something. No, let's see. I wonder what room numbers is. That's probably safe. So we browse for it, and I get to put it in my folder of course resources, and I'm going to add the item. And notice here it is in the module where I wanted it, and there's just a little download cloud that says, here, you can have this thing. So again, what could you use this for? Let's say that you find a New York Times article that you want your students to read, or you find a journal article or something cool like that. You could post it here on Canvas and say, hey, come look at this. Let's say that you posted it by mistake, like the room numbers PDF from your desktop, and you're like, what is that? You can remove it from your module and say, I really didn't mean to do that. Please don't let them see that, and you're good. Okay, any questions about how to upload a file to Canvas? You're good. Yes?
Is your attendance a file, or is that separate?
It's an assignment. So my favorite way to enter the attendance is through the gradebook, but if you, for some reason, wanted to look at the settings for, so assignments have this kind of icon associated with them, so you could look at it if you wanted to. Oh, here's something interesting. So in order for a student to have access to something, it needs to be published. Just like the course, the assignment needs to be published. So notice that this assignment is already published, but I could unpublish it if I wanted to. And here are the settings. It has 1 point associated with it. It's due October 4th, which is at the very, very end of week 6, so that they have it on their little calendar, I guess. But that's when you should have your attendance entered. All right. Now, let's see, what other things could you do? So let's talk about the calendar. Speaking of assignments, let's say that you wanted to put lunch on your calendar. So up here in the top navigation next to grades, assignments, whatever, click on calendar. And you'll see here that I have the CNS 101 workshop, which now we're calling what? Course check-in? We could change that. And I have some gone to natural sciences, gone to Texas things here. But if I wanted to say that I'm at lunch on the 28th, I click on that day. And I put here lunch. And I'm going to be here from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Whoa. And I'm going to be at Littlefield. And it's going to go on this calendar and submit. So why is this cool? Well, the great thing about Canvas is that students can feed this calendar into, say, their iCal normal calendar or into their Google Calendar, and they can get the alerts that normally happen with all of those calendaring tools and apps. And it's all in one. Isn't that cool? I love it. It's really cool.
So does Canvas make this calendar just for this course and then
Yeah.
another course?
So-
And they have to-
Yeah, so there's one calendar for your course. So this course is, what color is that? Pink? And here's my green Canvas TSC group, and I have others here. And so they're all color-coded just like my Google Calendar. And I can put them in my Google Calendar if I want so that they're all integrated. Cool, right? I love it. Okay, and then the last thing that I want to talk to you about before we get back to more questions is how to set up a discussion for your students. Oh, hang on. In the interest of keeping a clean sandbox, I'm going to delete my lunch event, so I just clicked on it and I can delete it. Okay. So back to my home page. Well, okay, never mind. Back to CNS 101 development. And let's make a discussion. Where are the discussions? Oh, they're right here. So if I want to make a discussion, there's this big blue button that says Add Discussion. And it's super easy. We could have a discussion about icebreaker activities. Holy crap, look, it's already done. So what are some good icebreaker activities for week 2, which will be the first week that you meet your CNS 101 cohort in their actual class? So this is our discussion. Here are some options. They're okay. Let's make it available from now until the end of time and save. Now, if any of you are here, you can not respond, right? Because I haven't published it. Publishing is the key to everything in Canvas. Publish. Okay. Does anybody want to respond so that we have something to look at? Nobody? Yes, thank you. Who are you? Martha, hi. This is Martha in the blue. She's our star Canvas student for the day.
So do students get an email saying, hey, this discussion is open? Or whatever?
I don't know. I think it would depend on their notifications, Noah.
Yeah, I believe it's a default, so they will receive, oh, yeah, thank you. So I believe it's a default, and they'll receive, so I'm not sure who I should talk to, the microphone or you? So it's a default, the students will receive a notification unless they've turned it off or turned it down, which can happen.
Let's hope they don't do that. Did anybody respond? Yeah.
Just a quick question. When you were about to create one, there was the box that says it's a group discussion. Did you have to click on that? I didn't know if that worked.
So groups, hang on. Oh, okay. Noah's telling me I have to hit refresh on my browser before we see Martha's post. But the question, can you answer this question?
Oh, the group discussion?
Yeah, there was like a box when she was creating the discussion that said, this is a group discussion. Am I supposed to click on that or?
So the group discussion, that's if you create student groups within.
Like partition your cohort into
Yeah.
subgroups.
You can create student groups in Canvas within your course, within your cohort. And basically what that does is it creates a mini Canvas within Canvas. So that would just create a group discussion that only the students in that group could participate in.
Can you make assignments available only to a group?
No, but you can make assignments only available to a section.
Okay.
Actually, what you do is you can create multiple due dates for different sections.
Okay.
But yeah.
I'll ask later. Yeah.
Do mentors have the ability to create a discussion, or is it just facilitated?
So the mentors have TA roles, and my understanding is they can do everything except add another TA and add instructors to the course. So yes, that's what they can do. They can create their own discussions and add to the calendar. So if they want to, meet students for bowling or for, I don't know, learning how to use the bus system, they're good. All right. Oh, right. Refresh the page. Let's see what Martha said. Yay. Whoa. 2. My daughter's 1 and she's learning about 2. And she says, how many owies do you have? 2 owies. It's pretty cute. Okay. Toss a beach ball with questions or 2 truths and 1 lie. I love that game. All right, so here are some icebreaker activities to get you started on week 2. We can leave that up there. We could even add this discussion to a module so that they see it on the home page when they come in. It sounds like so much work. I'm not really sure how to do it anyway. Oh, yeah, I do. Okay. So let's say they want to add the discussion to a module. So here's my little plus button for this module. I want to add my discussion, icebreaker activities, this one that I've already made. Whoa. Add item. Where'd it go? There it is. And so notice that the discussions have a little talking box for them as their icon. All right. Are there any other things that you think you might want to do in your Canvas course? So we've talked about uploading. Do you want to know how to post a video? Yes? That's pretty fun. So let's find a cat video on YouTube. Oh, this is one of my favorites. It's embarrassing that I have a favorite. Okay. Whoa, stop. All right, so on YouTube, there's this little share tab, right? And, well, and here's my URL for sharing, which actually I think is the same as the other one. So let's say that I want to
share with that in YouTube?
Mm-hmm. So there's a little share tab in YouTube, and it gives you actually the same, well, a similar URL that you have up here. But now let's add a page, a content page to my module. And notice that I'm not creating the page first and then adding it to the module. I'm adding directly, all in one step. I went to my module and I said, I want to add a new page. And I'm going to add my cat video to my module. So there it is, cat video. I want to edit this page. See this little upload? Actually, maybe we should have gone with the embed. I kind of like that better. Let's embed it. So here in YouTube, we have a share tab and also an embed tab. This embed tab means that you kind of get to see the video in your page, which I like better. So notice that the thing that I copied right here is a bunch of HTML. I'm going to put that in the HTML editor of Canvas so that when I look at it, I see this very scary looking yellow box. But save it, and let's look at what it really looks like. Look, there's my embedded cat video. Have you seen this cat? Oh, he is so cute. Ah, I see some of you have seen this cat. I'm not alone. He's a really, really fat cat. Not fat so much as big. His name, see? All right. Anything else you can think of that you want to learn? So embedding videos, you can embed the HTML from YouTube directly into the HTML in Canvas. Easy peasy. Something we can, would you like me to post sort of how-tos in this CNS? Okay, on it. Probably tomorrow. Anything else? Any other questions that you have? Things that you'd like to know about? You know how to add your TA. How are you going to get Canvas help? You have now 3 options: your index card, your tiny URL, or if it really is about Canvas and how to, I don't know, post a file, upload a video, something like that, you're always also welcome to use the Help tab. This one right here, which gives you the chatting support, the phone support for actual Canvas functionality. But you know, at this point, if you're thinking to yourself, where is the class I'm supposed to have on Canvas? They're not going to be able to help you. You should use the tiny URL or your index card for that. All right, any other questions?
Do you still have office hours for Canvas?
Yes, yep. We've got twice a week right now. Right now it's twice a week on Tuesdays and Fridays.
So the question was, do you
Office
still have
hours.
office hours for Canvas?
Yeah.
And where is it?
FAC 227. So the second floor of FAC, I don't know if you guys know where the Smurf Lab, they used to call it the Smurf Lab. So if you go into the Smurf Lab on the second floor of FAC, the Smurf Lab's no longer there. It's a cubicle farm. But if you keep going in to the right side, in the right corner, you'll see FAC 227. And that's where our trainings are and office hours.
Oops. Got it. Any other questions?
So if you were telling the lead facilitators like today to add the TAs, then does it make sense that we actually can't see the courses that we're supposed to be in?
It does make sense. So, and yeah, so there is the additional thing that we're doing another one of these trainings on Friday, so it might be a while. But you should receive a notification in your email that says you've been added to a course as this and this, if you're still waiting for your lead facilitator to add you.
Wait, who's in charge of making those?
The courses,
Not the sciences or?
making the CNS 101 courses, they're actually, the course creation is driven by the registrar, and the enrollment is driven by the registrar. I did a bad job repeating the question. She said, how do the courses get created? And they're all driven, those things are driven by the registrar, which is why the BSP thing doesn't have its own CNS 101 course. All right, any other questions? Sue, do you want to wrap up? Brave new world of CNS 101.
One thing we would like you to do, whether it's thank you, is show David's. I can just stand in front of you. Show David's. What is that thing? David Vandenbout has created a video on Welcome to CNS 101. Talks about the value, and so whether you are doing a traditional FIG/CNS 101 or BSP or WINS or TIP, we want all the students to see that because he's setting kind of the groundwork for this whole thing.
So as far as materials go, that's in week 2. And it's here in video, Welcome to CNS 101.
Okay? Questions?
Can that be found elsewhere, like on YouTube?
Pardon?
Can that be found
It
elsewhere?
is posted on YouTube, yeah.
Okay.
There's also some other good videos out there that students are producing, and or if your students, as a project, produce some really cool video, we want to see that as well. We will create a site for you to pick and choose from. Okay. Questions? I know I've got to go find my course.
Well, you have two options. Use your index card.
Or call you, no.
All right.
And we will be getting the guidelines for the supplemental funds out to you. And if you have any questions, you can either go right to Julie, or Becky is also going to be a clearinghouse for questions. If you don't know who to send a question to, then you can also send it to Becky. Not so much involving Canvas, because we know how to do that, but that's all the other things that are happening, like you don't have any students in your class or something like that. Okay, Becky, do you have anything? Jane? Sean?
Good.
Okay. All righty.
Let us know if you need help. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.